By the way,
We're live. Welcome to episode 7, the Photo Booth Magazine. Hey, Dave.
hey,
Who do we
what's
got?
happening?
What do we got this week? Who's here?
Oh, we got all kinds of fun and excitement this week. We've got our guest tonight is probably one of the biggest internet YouTube superstars out there. I mean, we're talking huge influencer,
Pretty
and we
much.
were lucky enough to get her to talk tonight.
Yeah, very, very fortunate. Rachel, thank you for joining us. We know you're busy.
My pleasure to be here. We need to replace influencer with pizza connoisseur. That
I
I'll
was,
give you.
I was going to not bring up pizza. I was not going to
Pizza
bring that up.
influencer connoisseur. We'll kind of combine it all and just make it one big glamorous thing.
Yeah,
By the way, now I want to drive up to New York and go pizza hopping after seeing your video the other week.
Slices on me, man. You name the place and time, and I'll meet you there.
yeah, pizza's good. It just fills me up. I had spaghetti meatballs tonight, so it wasn't that glamorous, unfortunately.
Actually, full transparency, I had meatloaf. So,
You're cheating on pizza. Oh my gosh. Well, so for those of you who have joined us for the first time and may not have seen us, we're the Photo Booth Magazine. We just got started recently. This is episode number 7. We do have a website. It's photoboothmagazine.com. And it's where you can go to find pretty much everything. And one thing we didn't set up, Rachel, was this screen here where I need to add you in. We were just for the folk. We usually chat beforehand and get the settings done. There you are, and I'm gonna erase my face because I want Dave's there. Um, but
You can leave me off. That's okay.
no,
We
you're
don't want to
on.
scare users away.
Nope, nope, you too. So this is photoboothmagazine.com. This is where you can find all the information about our live streams. We do post the videos on our video page, which is over here. So if you miss it and you have to leave for some strange reason, we'll be posting these up on here. If you want, you can go straight to our YouTube channel, and we have the videos up on. These are actually links to the YouTube channel themselves. We also blog a little bit about it, so we're kind of really just throwing everything on here. Of course, we have our vendor directory. But speaking of YouTube channels, definitely got to plug Rachel. You've got over 10,000 subscribers.
yeah, it's a small community, but tremendously active and fun. And I just have so many great um, friends and people that I network over on the channel, and I love it. I've met so many awesome people through just doing videos and tutorials and connecting, and so yeah, it's awesome.
So how long ago did you? It looks like when I went on here earlier, I did it about 4 years ago. So you've been doing this about 4 years.
Yeah, I think my first YouTube video was a gig log, or it was me complaining about DJing in the cold and almost dying on black ice. It was one of those two videos. But yeah, I kind of started it about 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. It's a lot of stuff on here. It's your gig logs, you at the expos, you trying out pizza, doing this and that, and really product demonstrations for the stuff that comes out that's really new. And a lot of people, including myself, have learned a lot from you. So, from myself and everybody else, I thank you for putting out that content. It's absolutely phenomenal. And it's like it's not staged. It's like, well, maybe you think it's staged, but I don't. It seems real, and I think that's one of the best parts of it that I really enjoy about it, that it's so real. So we're going to have a link to your channel on all those spots. I'm going to put it on our YouTube video, put it on our website, and obviously on the social media platforms on Facebook. We'll make sure we're promoting you because it's great education. That's what we do here. We try to help everybody out. Let's see here. One of the things that I wanted to ask you is, how did you get started DJing?
Oh, it's kind of a wild story, so I will keep it as short as possible. So I never wanted to be a DJ, believe it or not. People think that this was like a life aspiration, but it actually kind of happened out of a family emergency.
Oh,
So I was about 15 or 16 at the time. I think I just had my learner's permit, and my brother was a DJ at the time. So one morning, we woke up to a loud crash upstairs, and as a family, we went to go, check it out, and we found my brother pretty much unconscious on the floor.
Oh, whoa.
At the time, we didn't know that he was a type 1 diabetic, undiagnosed. So he was in a diabetic coma, essentially. Again, we didn't know at the time. Called 911. He was whisked away to the hospital, the ICU, to kind of figure that out. And he was actually packing for a wedding that day. So mom went to the hospital, and I kind of said to my dad, I was like, Brian's getting ready to go do something for these people. They have no idea, what happened. And this happened before really GPS, even cell phones. It was like, 25 cents a text message kind of a thing. Like you
Yeah.
didn't have that instant communication, like we do now. So I helped my dad finish packing the truck, and I said, at the very minimum, we at least got to go to these people's house and tell them, what happened, so they don't think, my brother just, stole their money and flaked. So, I grabbed the MapQuest off the desk. My dad drove to their house, and we roll up, and these people are definitely like who the hell's this old guy and this girl? Like this isn't our DJ. So I we explained what had happened, and the couple was extremely distraught, like crying, absolutely very upset. And I said, listen, I'm not a DJ by any stretch of the imagination, but I do love music, and I have been hanging around my brother, long enough. I know what play is, I know what a volume, fader is, and I've tinkered with his CD collection. So he had like the promo only catalog,
Yeah.
where you could tell what songs were out, what disc, like that's how long
Hmm.
ago we're going. So I had
Wow.
that Case Logic thing of CDs, and I said, if you tell me what I need to know, we showed up hours early. I'll do the best I can for you if you want me to. If not, I totally understand. But I feel I'm better than nothing, and I will do the best I can for you. So they agreed. My dad and I had no idea how to set any of this stuff
Wow.
up. And this was also before Evolve 50s and microsystems and powered speakers. So he had a passive bow system where the amps and the speakers weighed more than I did at the time, many, many pizzas before pizzas ago. But the point is I had no idea how to connect any of this. So my dad and I, just between literally like taking round thing, putting in the round hole, and this
Yeah.
looks like it fits there, and common sense, we figured it out. So it was the most stressful day of my life. Like up until like even now as an adult, like I could put it like top three craziest moments ever. Um, I made it through. It was not good. It was not graceful. It was definitely not, a wonderful, event. But I did the best I could with the knowledge and resources I had. And at the end of the day, it really just was about, stepping up for family in
Yeah.
a time of need and just doing what needed to be done. So my first event was literally a wedding. Why I thought my brother was like dying in a hospital somewhere.
Oh
So,
my gosh.
ta-da!
Talk about
Here we
stress
are.
upon stress.
It was the worst. I'm not even. I'd be lying to you if I told you it was like a shining moment. I didn't get paid. I mean, it was fine, but I'm just like it was really stressful. It was kind of terrible.
Right. And your brother recovered, right?
Yes, so we found out, obviously through the test, and they got him back to good. That's how we found out that he was a type 1 diabetic. So, kind of late onset, because he was,
Mm.
well, 4 years apart. So he was like 20 or 21 at the time.
Oh, wow.
Totally out of the blue. No one else in my family has diabetes. So that was like the last thing,
Hmm.
we thought it was. But yeah, pretty
That's
crazy. So
the
he's fine,
McDonald's on the way home from the event.
Wow, that is an incredible story. It's the crazy way of getting into it, and it's as you're not to go off on that tangent, but like it's you had this traumatic experience of getting into it. How long after that did you go and do your next event? Like, what was going through your mind after, like, wow, that it wasn't the best, but I want to do it again. You know what I mean? Like, what's going through your head?
No, so that honestly isn't what happened. So I still kind of had other aspirations. I, went to college to be a teacher. I did like a ton of sports, and just like nothing was geared around DJing. But as a 16-year-old turning 17, turning 18. When my brother was 20, 21, 22, he was starting to DJ bars and clubs. So, of course, little sister,
Hmm.
wanted to be where the action was. Um, so he would take me as his roadie,
Right.
and honestly, it wasn't about partying, it wasn't about drinking. I literally just loved music and wanted to be in that and be around like great sounding sound systems and the lights and just the atmosphere. Like, I swear to God, like, it was, I didn't even drink. Like, I still really don't drink. It wasn't about that. I just wanted to be around the music. So then what would happen was I'd kind of observe and watch and hang out and bop and party in the booth, and then he'd have two songs lined up. Like, one of his, like, I don't know, go-to mix was like Next Too Close into, I don't know, like Return of the Mac or something like
Yeah.
that. And he'd literally have them ready to go. He'd be like, see, when this says 20, I need you to hit play and move the volume up. He goes, I'm going to go out for a cigarette. And I was like, okay. So then one cigarette turned into two, turned into didn't come back for half an hour. Then he'd be gone for an hour. And like week after week, I just started mixing more and more. And he like gave me little tips and tricks. And I just naturally picked things up. And then as he got work and he maybe double booked or had something come in, and he's like, hey, you want to give this a try? And it was a really, really organic process.
Yeah.
But I did not dream in a million years that I'd be doing this now, like ever.
Well, you're here and you're doing it and you're doing it well.
So, so we're here.
So what happened? So you went through this just natural progression, organically. You love music and you got into DJing by chance, but eventually, at some point, you stumbled upon the idea of getting a photo booth. So tell us about what your thought process was, and like up to getting a photo booth. Like, what made you decide to get one?
Sure. So again, like full transparency, I'm a novice. I am just starting to touch the iceberg on the photo booth industry. And I'll also be honest with you, I wouldn't say, I don't want to use the word passion, because
Mhm.
I'm a DJ before anything else. I'm a DJ who owns a photo booth. I will never be like a photo booth company. I
Mhm.
have really no interest in learning, DSLR stuff. I don't even have a printer. I just wanted a fun solution for clients when I was being asked, and to take some of the pressure off of having to find available vendors to fulfill a need when
Yeah.
I could do it on my own. Now, to be honest with you, um, this wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for Danny Max. And I swear this isn't like a shameless plug, but truthfully, what had happened was is I owned his DJ booth
Mhm.
um, before anything else. And then after that product, like literally transforming my workflow as a event professional, cutting my setup time in half and just having a great product that, like, it didn't stain, it wasn't fragile, it didn't break, like it was so fantastic. um he said, I don't know if you even know this, Rach, but I started out with photo booths before DJ stuff, and I didn't know that because I didn't really know Danny that well. So I was like, oh, really? So he goes, you know, if you're interested, I would be happy, to show you the ropes, because I know you mentioned this a while ago, but you were really intimidated. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't want to bite off more than I can chew.
Right.
As a single solo op, I already have enough on my plate,
Mhm.
and I'm doing really complex events in really unique spaces, and my bandwidth and resources are sometimes really tapped to the max. So I'm thinking, like, you're crazy to add on, having to set up a whole different setup, a whole different type of technology, all different software, again, prints and props and tables, and it'd make like your head spin. But between Danny and James over at Curator, and there's also Mike over at Capture Book, and these are
Mhm.
kind of just the system that I came up with. These guys just have like world class customer service,
Yep.
and they gave me the time and commitment because they believe in their products, and they're like, listen, whatever it's going to take you to get up and running, we'll do it. And I've been on the phone with some of these guys at 9, 10 o'clock at night, back when I was learning how to get in on this, and they were literally going through every button and facet, and showing me the ropes, and really nurtured me with kindness and opportunity. So if I didn't meet these awesome, awesome vendors, I don't even know if I'd be operating a photo booth because I found it really intimidating. It just was a lot to bring into what I'm already currently doing. But because I found great products run by great people, it's been a awesome transition, and I am so glad that I have it as part of my services. So
Yeah, we were supposed to have James on last week, but unfortunately, that little Ian hurricane thing kind of put a damper on that. But yeah,
oh
I
yeah.
will say James is a great guy. I've worked with him since he brought his product out into the photo booth industry, and I have to agree when it comes to customer service, dealing with him has probably been one of the top top people I love working with.
That's important to me with really anything I use, from lighting to, the Danny Max booth, software. It has to have a system and a team behind it that I know is going to make sure that I'm my best each and every event. And I really screen companies and products to make sure that before I either use them or vouch for them or put them in a gig log, that they're actually who they say they are. They actually work how they're supposed to work. I feel that now, with the modest channel I have, but I have an obligation, to make sure that, what I say is actually how it is. And I can't speak high enough about Danny, James, Mike from Curator. And actually, I recently just started working with Larry. I'm forgetting his last name, but he's from photo booth artwork.com that has like
Oh,
this
cool.
online, it's a login, and it has all like templates and frames and stuff, but it has like its own editor, so I don't have to, because I don't know Photoshop that well.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
really, I don't know it, and I haven't really had the time to get into Photoshop. And if you're gonna do photo booth stuff, you know, clients are gonna want, these elaborate frames and these things, and Photoshop is a really great tool to do that. But this has simplified that for me.
Yeah, which one of these is it that you're talking about? Is it any one of these? Photoboothgraphics.com?
Photo booth artwork, no.
No. All right. So
It's
we need to
called
get them up there. So after
it's
this,
called photoboothartwork.com.
oh, let's take a look at that.
And their logo is like a paintbrush with this like
Okay.
teal script font, and it makes it tremendously easy to make photo booth templates.
That's
And they're like
cool.
10-15 bucks. Like it's reasonable. Yeah, that's it. And it has its own
Wow.
online editor,
Okay.
and it's awesome. So shout out to Larry and them. I used them for the first time last week, and the template was phenomenal. The client absolutely loved it, and it took me about like 2.5 minutes to just type their name, their date, and that's it.
That's
I
really
used
cool.
the barn door sunflower one, if you're curious.
Bondor Saab. I think we can go through like all these templates. It would take us an hour to find. There's a lot of cool stuff on here.
Well,
Welcome
no,
screen,
I
flare
typed in
scripts.
rustic, and it gave me like their top five, and I'm like, all right, I like that
Oh,
one, and
all right.
that was it. So
So
super easy.
was it the strip? Is that what you used?
Nope, it was a square frame. Does it say
Square.
like
All right. So let's take a look.
square?
And full
Yeah.
transparency, guys, the Photo Booth Magazine is, we try to let everybody choose their own stuff. So we are more than happy to add any vendor out there as long as, it's on the up and up, of course.
That one at the end. That's the one I used, the sunflower barn door.
That one?
I
Okay.
literally typed in their name, their date. It took me like a minute and a half, and it took
Can you
me longer to pay for it than to make it.
Oh, wow. That's really cool. I'll have to check these guys out. So were you able to change the fonts and stuff like that too if you wanted? Oh, yeah, you can.
Yeah, you could do anything. It's like a literally online editor, so I don't need Photoshop, and it kind of, it's almost like Canva, where it automatically lines stuff up for you, so
Right.
it doesn't look stupid, and it's really convenient. So
That's good. And I think that's one of the things that we're getting here from having you on is not everybody is pure photo booth. And as a DJ, there's a lot going into running a DJ, a business, and being a DJ an event. You've got, you've got to come really, really early, especially with weddings. I particularly will show up at least 2.5 to 3 hours before an event starts. I'm crazy, but I like to get there early, set up, make sure I'm having conversations with the venue manager, and also having time to decompress a little bit and kind of gather my thoughts, cool off, relax, make sure I've got a little bit of bite to eat so I'm not hungry going into the event. And if something goes wrong with equipment, I have time to fix it. And to do a photo booth by yourself while doing all that, you've got lights to set up, you've got a DJ booth to set up, you're wrangling people, just making sure that the timelines, you're talking with photographers. So for those in the DJ industry, having a simple process with your photo booth that you've gone, the route you've gone, which is, I believe you went with the Curve Duo, right? So let's take a look at this one here. That's this one here, right?
Yeah.
So it's a simpler option. And there are other ones out there on the market, but this one, and I have the same one too. Um, but having an iPad booth that's easy to set up in a situation where you're pretty much a one person operation, right? You don't have other people working with you.
Right. So it's me, myself, I. Sometimes I will have a photo booth attendant if the event is, I want to say I know there's going to be a lot of people and it's a little
Okay.
bit more upscale and like, and that is built into the price. But I'm going to say 60% of the time it's literally just me setting it up, leaving it, and just letting the people figure it out.
Right.
Like, my photo booth, I can have everything set up. So I can build the Curve Duo, build my 7 foot by 7 foot PB backdrop pillowcase background,
Hmm.
link the LED pillars to the Mobile Max top, log into Curator, all that. I'm gonna say 20 minutes from like soup to nuts, battery packs, wire
All right.
management, like log into the Wi-Fi, like everything.
Is that with Capture Book
Between
in there too? Like, are you using including Capture Book in that?
yeah,
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 that's
like
phenomenal.
15-20 minutes, I can get my photo booth up and running. So if it wasn't for these products, though, I wouldn't be able to do it. Like
Yeah,
there's a very specific reason why I picked the specific services and items I did. Um, Otherwise, it wouldn't have been feasible.
yeah.
So
And there's a lot of options out there, but and I came down the same path that you did. Uh, when I was when I first got started, I got a Your City photo booth, this big tower thing, and it was great. But there were some things about it that, after running a photo booth for a while, I needed something different because I needed more of a tilting head. Because I wasn't comfortable having children standing on chairs, and parents holding the kids with the grimace of their face. It's not a smile in a photo booth. So I went to the DJ Expo in, God, it was 2018, I think, and Danny was the only one there. And that's when I was ready to buy another photo booth. So that's how I got to meet, Danny Max. And my first one was the Curve DSLR. So I got that one, and then I got another one, and then I got the Curve Duo. It's just, I think I agree with you in the fact that it has been phenomenal customer service, and the fact that it's lightweight, it's portable, it takes
right.
minutes to set up. And there's other ones out there too. So don't again, this isn't a Danny Max advertisement, although it seems like it is. It's just that we just happen, that's what we use, but that's not all I've ever used. And I would consider others, but right now I've got enough. So you did your
And I also
research.
want to like I want to stress that, so as a DJ looking into this, or really anybody, you really have to decide what is your priority
Yeah.
and kind of how you want to run this. Like I own a photo booth and I've still referred people because the client is adamant about wanting prints, or they
Yes.
want a mirror booth, or they want a 360
Or
booth, or they
360.
want this like elaborate thing with red velvet carpets. And like I don't do that. I sell mine as a social booth. It's a quick, easy option. It's great for corporate events, cocktail parties. I'm very transparent about what it is. Um, it's virtual props, virtual backgrounds. You get one pillowcase, you get one frame.
Hmm.
I can give you a little bit of a discount, simply because it's
It's you.
just great essentials, but I don't have the flair and the pizzazz and the red carpets and the, exactly what I'm talking about. Like
I
there's
do.
people that literally have like
There are
trailers, like
some.
photo booth trailers
Oh
that
yeah,
could
the
come in. Like
VW
if
buses.
yeah, you know, and they're amazing. So if that's what you want, I will 110% refer it to another event professional to handle that. But sometimes people just want like a simple, quick, fun add-on to plop down somewhere and just get some really funny, candid pictures and have
Hmm.
a good time, and that's it. So as long as you're selling it appropriately, there's a product for everybody.
That's right.
You know, there's definitely a lot more higher end, even DSLR stuff. I am not claiming an iPad is taking as good photographs as a DSLR booth. You know, if a client wants that quality, then I will refer you.
Yeah,
But
there's a
for
lot
some
more moving
people,
parts with the DSLR booth. You got a
right.
DJ.
And I didn't want to get involved in any of that. So mine is iPad based, Wi-Fi, no prints. I don't honestly, I kind of started doing this in COVID and it just kind of carried over. I don't even really offer physical props. Like if they want to provide them, like you go ahead, but I just use the built-in fun filters and frames.
You just answered
Um,
somebody's question. Have you
yeah,
considered real prompts? Hi, Katie.
I have, but honestly, I've had zero pushback about not having them. So it's just like it's less mess, it's less like damage, it's less setup. I don't have to bring a table. And Curator really is that fun with their virtual props and their virtual reality background thing, and it's
Mhm.
cool. So you know, maybe down the line, like I'm not against it. It's been working fine without prints or props, and it's cool. People have a blast. So
Yeah. Well, we definitely had props last week. Dave and I love our props. I can't help it. We have so many. I still have like props over sitting on the other side. But it's more involved. There's more stuff to carry. You have to have a bin for props. You have to have extra paper on hand, right? And you're like a pure adamant and an advocate for backup of everything. So that's extra stuff that you would have to bring, right? That's a lot for one person. Um, so, what advice would you have? And we sort of kind of already covered it for someone who doesn't have one, someone who's a DJ and they're considering getting a booth. What's the first thing that they should? What are a few things that they should do in the beginning, uh, research wise? What are your thoughts?
it's wow, there's a lot to unpack there because there's just so much stuff that I went through, you know. Definitely join some of the Facebook groups because 99% of your questions can be answered there, and it's interesting to see other people's replies and feedback and different suggestions, and just be willing to absorb and do some research on your own. Um, don't be afraid to try out a couple different things. Like if you can make it to any of the expos or MEX, I mean, there was more photo booths there than even DJ stuff. You know, there's a lot of opportunity to try this stuff out. So don't make an impulsive purchase. You know, find people you know, that are willing to kind of share information like I did. They made it tremendously easy for me to
Yeah,
transition into boothing. And just take it a step at a time, you know. And make sure that you have the bandwidth and the market for it. Like, don't just buy it because it seems like the trendy thing to do. Like, you really should be getting an ROI with it. And, you know, if you're not good at sales, or if you're not, you know, that busy, or you're not willing to put in the marketing piece with it or whatever, you know, you might have a paperweight sitting in your garage, or you'll be constantly throwing it in for free
hmm,
because you don't actually know how to sell it.
yeah.
So, you know, like you said, there's a lot to it. But yeah, I don't know.
So
There's just so much to say.
I know. I kind of put you on the spot there. One of the things that so about selling, are you selling it on every package? Or anytime somebody contacts you, are you at least asking them? And what's your approach on that, on selling it?
Yeah, 100%. I always offer it, and I have a couple of key videos on hand so I can show them what I'm talking about.
Hmm.
For example, the capture book, the digital guest book,
Yep.
at least in my market, it is such a new concept that people don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
So I have to have a video to show them from other events, and not just about what it does, but to show the fun people are having with it.
Yep.
Um,
I did one
so it
too.
definitely, yeah, so it definitely takes a little extra effort, you know, to show people why they should have it. But I'm gonna say I probably have a 65, 70% like, all right, let's do it. Or it's no at first, and then as they get closer to their wedding date, and I kind of just follow up and inquire again, they go, all right, let's throw it in.
Yeah.
You know, yeah,
Let's so for some people who don't know what Capture Book is, because we've talked about that a little bit. Let me go back to the website here. Capture Book is a really cool piece of software. I think it's the only one. It is the only one out there right now that does this. That's fine. Where's my Capture Book? Here it is. So, Capture Book is the digital scrapbook, right? So, do
yes.
you want to talk a little bit about that, or would you like me? We can both talk about it. Essentially, it removes the need for an actual print and a physical book to glue stuff in, and it just shoots the pictures from the photo booth. In your case, it's directly integrated with Curator, and it integrates with other software too, straight onto another iPad that people can add stickers to and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, so
So,
they take their photo at the photo booth, and then it instantly transfers over to the second stanchion slash iPad, where they then can make a collage with their photo. So they can just use the photo they just took. They could use the last 7 photos they took. They can use photos other people took, and they could plaster them all over this blank canvas. They can um, stretch them out. They can shrink them down. They can add stickers. They can take the Apple Pencil and, as you can see here, like write little messages, we love you, congratulations, and personalize their page. And then they save it, and then it automatically gets saved to the iPad, and then also to like a Dropbox, so then you can later download it. And then it acts as a great upsell. If you
it
want,
does.
you can use something like Shutterfly, and you can print out a book for maybe like $20, and then upsell it for like 150 bucks, or like whatever you want to do. Or you could just send them the digital files and like let them do it themselves. But because I don't want to get involved in prints, and some couples may feel like, oh, well, we're kind of bummed, we wanted to have, that guest book where people can have their pictures and get cute little messages. This is the digital solution to that.
Yeah, and especially with the shortage of paper right now, because it takes paper to print out extra strips. It was crazy. I was just looking at prices on Amazon a couple weeks ago. And I'm not kidding. A DNP RX1 HS. It's one of the most popular printers. Some guy was trying to sell it for $1,900. Paper was going for like $500, $600 a box. I'm like, whoa! And that's how
I
scarce
will
it is.
sit there with I will sit there with crayons and color you pictures before spending $500 on ribboning. I mean, I guess if you have to. I mean, I get it. If you run a photo booth business, like you gotta do what you gotta do. But I
Yeah,
don't know. I don't want to get involved in it, and I've had very little pushback from any clients that say, well, we want prints, so never mind. And like
yeah.
the 2 or 3 times it's happened, um, I just refer them to a colleague, and it's all good, and I'm happy to do so.
So
Everything
mentioning,
in my universe is simple, efficient, basic.
Yes.
Like DJing, my setup, I need it efficient, and that's why it's pretty much Danny Max everything.
Some Katie Braun asks, "How do you make the videos to show people?" I know the answer to that. It's all your iPhone.
So, I'm in a unique space as a DJ because I do a lot of what we call gig logs. So it's a behind the scenes look at what I do from start to finish, from setting up to actually recording, moments throughout the event. So people can see my dance floor, the technology I use, what my lighting looks like. And I also include my photo booths in there. So I have a couple specific gig logs. And, he can show you the link, and actually will show you Capture Book in use. Um, if anybody wants to check out Capture Book at an actual event. But I send my clients these gig logs, and they can actually check it out, what it looks like at a real event. And to me, there's no better testimonial than that. There's no smoke and mirrors there. It's literally me holding a cell phone, recording footage while I'm actually working the party. So if you go down to that one, the nope, that one, the gig log rustic wedding at Candlelight Farms,
That one right
like
there.
4 or 5 minutes into there, yeah, there's I'm literally describing how Capture Book works and showing my clients and all that. Oh
Nice.
man, you got to pay for YouTube. What is this?
I don't
Commercial.
pay for YouTube.
Oh, I do. I can't stand
I
commercials.
have so many different. There you
Uh,
go. I have
there you
so many
go.
different subscriptions.
So that's me literally trying out Capture Book during cocktail hour to show people, how it works and all that. So I have like real video
I,
showing real
I think
results.
I think what's really amazing is the fact that you have all these videos, and this one particular video we just found. You knew how many minutes in that you talked about Capture Book right off the top of it.
Because I get asked the same questions so many times that I refer my videos to other people. So like I just know where I gotta go to help them out. So does that make me really lame?
No, it shows that you've got a like photogenic whatever mind. It's you have a great memory. Um, no, talking about the print again, like the iPad booth and versus DSLR booth, we're going to have that conversation constantly throughout the show. Um, so I have this planner that hires me to do the mitzvahs that she does, and she's always adamant she's got to have the prints, got to have the prints. And I said, no problem, but I've got this other booth. No, I want the prints. I said, I'll tell you what, I'm going to bring my DSLR booth and I'm going to bring the Curve Duo, my iPad booth. I'm going to put one on one side of the room. I'm going to put one on the other side of the room, and we're going to have a battle and see what happens. At the end of the night, most people use the iPad booth. Only a couple handful of the old folks, the traditionals, wanted the prints. The kids that took the pictures in the DSLR booth ended up taking their phones and taking pictures of it so they could. No, I mean, there's sharing stations too, but there's
Right.
just more fun with these iPad booths. I think it's becoming more popular now.
They're streamlined, they're interactive, they're attractive, they're highly customizable. It's instant gratification.
Hmm.
They're simple and they kind of mimic the technology people already have and love and use every day, like the
Yeah,
Instagram, the Snapchat, and all that. So it just translates very well.
absolutely.
So
No.
the other thing with the capture book is it's not just for digital booths. You can add it to a regular print booth also
Yes.
as your scrapbook option.
Hmm.
So you do have that flexibility of having that if you want to upsell it as a digital scrapbook, um, with your print booth, you still have that as an option too. So it's not
Yeah,
just for digital because it's just a matter of linking your online folder or folder, syncing the folder to the actual program.
it really is a revolutionary app. I don't get to use it as often. I
So
just
the only downside to Capture Book, and honestly, this is kind of what determines whether or not I have an assistant, because the technology is so new.
yes,
Nobody knows what it is. So the client has paid for that service, and I feel an obligation to make sure that they're getting a benefit from that service. So I would feel awful if nobody made a page and or they got like two pages because only two kids figured it out and like all the 40 and up crowd was like what the hell is this kind
yeah,
of a thing. So I have to have an assistant to literally coach and direct people like, hey guys, check this out, and maybe do like a demo. And then after like an hour or two, once everyone's visited the booth and they get it, then you don't have to keep coaching them, but you need that initial engagement to get
Right.
people to use it, because again, it's not obvious what it is, for the most part, and it's just so new. So that's really the only, I'm going to say, downside to Capture Book is just making sure people are actually using it because the client paid for it, and I want them to have you know stuff at the end of the night. And I will say, when I first got it, I kind of didn't like, I didn't realize that, so maybe I shouldn't even be saying this in public. But again, I'm as honest and transparent as they get.
yeah.
I've absolutely made some pages
Hmm.
and just like pretended to be like, Uncle Tom or something, and just kind of, put a picture here, drew a little squiggle there, just so I gave them more pages than were actually made that event, because I wanted them to have
I've done
have
that for
them.
my
But
regular scrapbook, customers,
oh,
with the
okay,
gluing
I
in
don't
the
feel that
book.
bad
I'm
then.
like, oh my God, I only had 10 people that made pages. And, so I just take some extra strips, you put the glue on, stick them on a page, write a little heart and, we love you or congratulations, something like that.
Oh, thank you. You made me feel so much better. But I make an extra effort now to have a trained assistant to make sure people go transition from the Danny Max booth over to the Capture Books station. So.
Yeah, capture
So,
is phenomenal.
so you mentioned that you work with other professionals when it's something that's outside, like they want a mirror booth or 360 or something like that. How did you vet your companies that you worked with, or did you just throw it out there and do you have companies that you work with on a regular basis or
Yeah,
have come across ever?
there's like three people in Connecticut that have specific types of booths that are kind of like me, like they're DJs first, and then but they have bigger companies or multi-ops, so they have like just more resources and more bandwidth. So
Mhm.
they're definitely people I know. That's important to me. I would never refer someone to somebody, and if I did, it would just literally be like, hey, I came across this company, but I have no experience with them, you know, good luck, Godspeed. I would always let people know that. But yeah, I got like three to four, I'm going to say DJs, photo booth buddies that if I need something a little bit more sophisticated than what I offer, I just kick the work to them.
Good. So what are some of the pitfalls that you've come across?
So my only, I guess, buyer's remorse was I initially bought an iPad Air with no data plan, and I was like, oh well, what venue doesn't have hotspots?
Oh
And
yeah.
then my whole entire 2021 wedding season, 2022 wedding season has been like these like mountain tent, like in the woods, non-traditional wedding venue, like DJing in like bunkers and like not near civilization. And I was like, this is a problem. And because I use my cell phone for vlogging, I wasn't able to just leave my cell phone by the booth
Yeah.
to dedicate a hotspot. So I was like, yo, I can't do this anymore. So I traded my iPad in back to Apple, and of course you take a hit on it, right? Like they're not giving
Always.
you anything close of what you paid, but at the end of the day, it wasn't serving me. So I returned that or traded it in and rebought a data plan iPad, and it's made things so much easier. So if you're on the fence thinking you're going to have Wi-Fi like wherever you go, or or you can find someone to even give you the password. I've also been to venues. I'm like, hey, what's your Wi-Fi? And they're like, I don't know. I'm like, well, do
Yeah.
you know someone who does? No, you know. So you always have to be. If you could be self-sufficient, just do it. So
I'm
that
gonna
was my
take
one
that.
buyer's remorse.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that because I've been toggling with that too. I did a couple events recently, and I'm outside, and I'm using my phone as my tether, my virtual hotspot, and I just didn't like it. If I went too far away, the iPad wasn't getting the signal it needed to push out the pictures. And people are like, I didn't get my pictures yet. I'm like trying to DJ. I don't have time to mess with stuff while I'm DJing and doing my next mix while people are trying to get their pictures taken or delivered to their phone. So I think I'm going to do the same thing. I'm probably going to take my iPad in and get the data plan.
Yeah. For $10 a month, it's not worth the headache or the drama of, dealing with all that. So just get an iPad with a data plan and call it a day.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So before we end this, we're at like 45 minutes. I did want to make sure we let people know again that they can check out all of your videos right over here. I'll put links into the this video, social media on Facebook, as well as our website. But we also talk about marketing, and you and I had a little Google My Business or Google Business Profile session recently. How is that going? Are you showing up in the results?
Oh my God, it's awesome. I'm also getting a lot more like spam calls,
Yep,
just you
you're
take
gonna
the
get
good with the
them.
bad, but no, it's been tremendous, and I took your advice. I reached out to some of my older clients and as well as all the new ones, and I said, hey, listen, I know you left a wonderful review on Facebook, but would you mind cut and pasting that over, to Google? And it's been awesome. I think I'm at like 10 reviews already within
Oh,
like
good.
2 weeks or something. So that's cool. Um, and honestly, man, I'm gonna give you a shout out again, and that pizza ending reel is
Oh,
just a hit. I cannot tell you from marketing how much that pizza
Just fits.
closing reel, it just,
I was
it's
having
changed my life.
good. I'm glad. You're welcome. But you also, when we had that session, I was not familiar with Linktree, and I'm all about having a website, having the Facebook page, having the business card, and I think I've heard it once or twice. I'm going to show this to people. This is interesting. I want you to talk about this before we end the show at some point here. But this is Linktree. Tell me about this. Tell the people about, because some people don't have a website, right? Um, talk
Right,
about
and
this.
I'm one of them. All right, so I don't have a website. I run all of my businesses strictly off of social media, word of mouth referral, and then obviously, like if I'm doing good work at an event, people see you, they come up, ask a card, and then they follow up when they need a DJ. So that's literally how I get all my business. I haven't spent a dollar on advertising. So that being said, I still have to give people a way to find me, access my content so that they can see who I am, see what I do, and just check me out. Now, since I'm kind of everywhere, meaning on Mixcloud, which is where DJs can upload mixes and samples of their actual blends so people can hear if
Mm-hmm.
they actually can DJ or not.
Yep.
I am on Instagram. I am on TikTok. I am on YouTube. Um, what else is on there?
You technically do have a business page here. So this is the one that we found. Where is it at?
Oh, right. So I technically have now a Google website
Yeah, there it is. This one here.
that I
You
I
kind of do
recently
have a
just added
website.
that link. I guess I kind of do now, but this is only since you did what you did.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
good. It's
So the
something that Google I hadn't seen before. To be honest with you, like I don't know everything in the world, and sometimes I stumble across stuff. And you and I stumbled upon this at the same time. Google made a website for you, apparently. It's the coolest thing. Um, and it's
yeah.
simple. Grabs all the
So
stuff, the content.
yeah, so Linktree allows me to direct people to the content I want to highlight, whether it's a specific YouTube video or a mix or my reviews or whatever. And it's done through one link. So I don't have to send them 50 different links. And also, you know how, like, sometimes website links, they're like really, really long and ugly and
Yes.
scary? It just keeps everything just really neat and pretty and easy to access. And just one touch, they can tip me through there. They can leave a review if they want. They could check out my content. So, and it's free. Like, why would you not utilize something that is free? So that costs me nothing to have that. And I have it on my Instagram and also in all of my email signatures.
Hmm.
So I plot my link tree like pretty much everywhere I can, if
Yeah,
I
you
can.
could probably even like so some people use QR codes, right? So you could actually create a
Yeah,
QR code that sends people to this and have it like a sticker on the back of your phone if you really wanted to. That's another way to do
absolutely.
it. And then your
So,
your Google
so
My
yeah,
Business page. Yeah, that was really good.
yeah, yeah. Linktree is really dope. There is a paid version of it
Okay.
that allows you more customization and colors, and it gives you also more metrics so you can see like who's clicking on what and how many people visited this and that, and like analytics and stuff. But
You don't
I don't
need it.
know, I don't really care. I
No.
don't need it. It's just
If the tips and the calls and the
Just
reviews are
book
all
me.
in, you're
That's all
good.
she wants. Just book me.
That's it.
that's it. Just book me.
What are you using for that? For booking you? Q.
Q.
Okay. Man, that's another conversation we're gonna have to have. This is a new CRM system that just came out in the last couple of years, right? So this works pretty well for you.
Yes. Yeah.
And that I think I have on here as well. I think I put them in the CRM area, which is right over vendor directory photos. I can go to the top here. Software, right there. So this is a Q platform. So
There you
people can check. There's so much on our website. Just go poke around. Um, Lastly, again, your Google My Business. Now, we were talking before the show started that this is something we talked about a few weeks ago with SEO, and you're obviously getting more leads because you've optimized your Google My Business. So, what we're going to do in a few weeks, and I'm not sure which week we're going to do it. I'm going to walk through somebody on setting up their Google My Business, and so if anybody's watching this and wants to be a guinea pig for that show, email us, comment on this, and we'll touch base. But I want to walk through how to set this up, how to optimize it, and some things because this is a great way and it's free. This is a great way that people can generate business for their photo booth business, for the DJ business, whatever the business they're in. It's local. And it's obviously working really well for you. You've got 5.0, 10 reviews, and you've gotten more leads since we've optimized it. So
Hmm.
it's proofs in the pudding right there. So anything else you want to hit on, Rachel, before we close the show out, other than thank you for being here? Are you going to any expos coming up this year? Are you going to do a wedding MBA? Are you going to Harvest of Sound? Are you going to
Um,
PBX?
Probably Harvest of Sound, just because, super local. It's like, an hour and a half away or something. Or maybe a little farther. It's near Boston. But then again, they moved it, so maybe it is closer. Either should I do Harvest of Sound. I always go to MEX, PBX. I don't know. Probably see you there.
Yep.
And Atlantic City. And those are and Marquee Show out in Chicago. Those are kind of like my staples. Because I work full time, I only have so much time to allocate to these,
Yeah.
you know, 4-day work week show kind of things. But I definitely try to make a priority if I can, because it's really important. And it's one of those, like, you don't know what you don't know. Actually, the last MEX PBX, because I've never been to a photo booth show before that, and obviously it was always Mobile Beat for DJs, and then they
Hmm.
combined the two. There were so many cool products. I didn't even know were a thing, just because I'm not like a boother, and it was just like,
Whoa.
wow.
That
And
was.
granted, there's like 20 of the same thing, like you will have that, but it was definitely cool though, just to see the different variations, the different price points, the different offerings, the
Hmm.
different technology. It was cool. So, like I said, if you're interested in diving in, that's a great place to start, because you have everything at your fingertips
Yeah. But
there to
PBX
check
is
out and play with.
PBX was my favorite one to date of all the expos I've gone to. It was so cool. It was just amazing. Such an amazing time. And I can't wait to be there again this year or 2023. Rachel, thank you so much for being on. I want to let you know if you want to tune in next week. There is one piece of equipment which I don't know if you tried yet. So if somebody does ask for um, prints, there's wireless printing from an iPad. Next week we're going to have Rex Huang on, and he's going to talk all about wireless printing from DSLR as well as iPad, and we are going to give away a DNP WCM2. So people want to definitely check that out. It's very, very hot topic right now. I have one of these. It works really great for me, but I'm not an expert, so I'm looking forward to having this conversation with them. Um, Also, Dave, there are some awards coming for PBX, right? So you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yep. So in November, next month, actually, we're going to start the PBN Awards Photo Booth Network. If you're not in the Photo Booth Network group, if you're watching this on YouTube or somewhere else on Facebook, you just came across the Photo Booth Network. Um, we're going to be doing an awards. We're going to have 10 categories, kind of hopefully be like an Oscars kind of thing or Emmy or not even close to any of those. But we're gonna have some awards to give away, um, and it's going to be geared to boothers.
Yep.
So we're gonna have a few vendor awards, but it's mostly going to be some categories are going to be best bridal show design, best photo strip design. You know, Rachel making hers on that website. She could submit one. You never know. And then we're going to have some voting, and we're going to do one category a week for 10 weeks. And then we're going to do the announcements at PBX 2023.
Yep.
We've got that approval from Rob, so we're gonna have some fun with this year.
Yeah. Well, Rachel, thank you so much for
Very
taking
cool.
time out. I really appreciate it. We'll see you.
My pleasure. Have a great night, and thank you so much.
Yeah.